this stage just because their carries are a little better protected. But for WE, obviously there are tools for them to get access to that backline. But it is going to come down to a little bit of that execution through the early stages of this game.
Staying back up from some of that poke, and Sion going to be no slouch in being able to clear away waves, especially with the support either. So WE going to have to see if they can keep Saburo at bay for long enough to build up a real advantage. So you can see these trades coming through, and you can see the regen from the Rex.
Saburo. Yeah, he's going to feel the pain on that one. And I will say as well, just wanted to point out where our junglers were pathing. We've got Monkey coming up to this top side. If Saburo doesn't get his recall here, could be in trouble, Gordo, as the Ambessa show's face is already full cleared. 3:20 on the clock.
Oh, a nice piercing arrow from about. Yeah, gonna stop that recall, and this should be first blood coming through. Monkey flashes away to break the turret aggro, and WE on the board first.
Wave making him feel a little bit pressured into having to step back. Maybe that we might see Renard move down as he sort of hovers away from mid lane. You can see Karis doesn't actually know whereabouts this Talia is, and he's going to face check, forced to flash.
Yeah, really good decision to flash away from it, though. Now Renard a little bit caught out. He is going to have to retreat. The Dragon already falling down. Yao Yao getting focused. He's going to be the first one to drop of the fight, but Monkey going to be able to trade back onto IG. Renard. Still, IG, way better health bars, way more damage, and About has got to bail. Already used the flash. Now going to get scooped back in by Jue, and Photic is about to cash out. Gets his kill in this battle, his second of the game. IG claim the feat of warfare, and they get themselves off to an early advantage.
This WE composition falls behind.
Yeah, I gotta say, it feels like IG are giving up quite a bit here to get these grubs, as they do find themselves with a lot of turret plates going the way of About, and quite a few jungle camps going the way of Monkey as well. And really claim some plates and claim some towers. This is About TPing in, going to be right on top of the Rek'Sai, taking a really rough trade. That bite really hurting. And here comes the Void Rush underneath the turret, flashes away in time, and that was public execution from Monkey, missing very slightly. Saburo gets the solo kill, flash in from Yao Yao to hold him still, and Monkey going to look to try to finish off the kill. One more dash with a Drakehound step will cause a 1-for-1.
Let's try and take.
Yeah, top laners both just clearing out waves, no problem. They've gotten tanky enough that they don't need to concern themselves with towers and things like that. A very deep clear from Saburo, but here comes the unstoppable onslaught from Cube to rejoin the fight. Shows up to Photic, gets spell shielded away. Yao Yao's already been taken down, but it's a support trade, and Wei will fall down to the unleashed power of Karis. This thing does end up as a 2-for-1 so far. WE trying to back away. Monkey has to flash away from a seismic shove. They attempt to return fire, but they miss everything onto Renard.
Photic's still
going. Stay strong, firing rocks over the wall. There's a Void Rush in from Saburo, but he finds himself one shot, and Cube and Karis survive with a sliver of HP apiece. WE get away with murder and take a 3-for-1.
Very good positioning, wasn't forced to use either summoner spell, and even in the back half of this, you can actually see that IG are the ones who secure themselves the objective, despite the fact that they lost out in the gold or in the kills. They're the ones that come away with the objective.
Better fight for WE, so very close slivers of execution determining some of these fights, and I think that's going to continue to be the case with only a 1k gold lead. Successful smite from Monkey will secure the Rift Herald, and that's a flash away from Yao Yao. WE already deciding they don't want no smoke. They're going to try to get themselves out of here, but Jue comes in with the Magnet Storm for the engage. Monkey going to be locked down, and Wei is all over him. He picks up the first of the fight, and Yao Yao about to join him as 2 kills go the way of IG, and Karis going to have to try to survive this dive.
Yeah, definitely very worried. TP necessary, just gets out under the flick. This fully stacked tier now, Seraph's Embrace in the back pocket. And again, we look at the profile that WE have. Definitely not going to be easy for them to succeed this time round.
Yao Yao getting a little bit of Spider-Man action out there as he whiffs on the hook, but does manage to lock down Jue and hand a kill over to About. WE secure themselves a number for sure, and needs to be able to focus down Photic. Photic with so much in his hands this game. Yao Yao looking for another engage. It's going to be onto Jue. He's able to jump back in time, and now Yao Yao cut off from the rest of his team. A nicely placed Weaver's Wall from Renard, going to cut away the rest of WE and secure a quick kill for the IG squad right before the Dragon spawns. I think they're going to try to get in a soul point, Rude.
Yeah, and they should be looking for this quite safely. Yao Yao, obviously, not too long. Death timer.
going to look for another fight here. The shuffle back, not going to connect. Cube can't find somebody with Unstoppable Onslaught either, and that's half his health bar picked away from over the wall. Meanwhile, Saburo still splitting on the top side, so WE left with no real good options here. Karis going to look to interrupt some recalls, does so on the way, but that is a very tiny victory, if at all.
Yeah, it's a very thin silver lining as far as things go. Now, they're probably going to be able to start this dragon. Whether or not they can do it uncontested remains to be seen, as we do know that Wei is walking out from base. There's a TP from Saburo to try and stall this as best as possible. The dragon will fall, but what about the fight afterwards?
Yeah, I mean, Shui going to be deep behind enemy lines off the back of that portal, but Saburo's there to back him up. They're locking down Yao Yao, who's just not tanky enough to survive this for very long. Cube is, however, as he tries to back away. Wei finds a pass into the fight and will be able to one-shot Yao Yao, but now he's locked out by the Chains of Corruption, and the Unleashed Power will be enough for a shutdown to go back the way of about. It's a 1-for-1 so far, and Shui, without many pathways out to safety, might be the next target. Going to be able to fall back with the rest of his team, and WE going to make it a 1-for-1, but the jungler's still down.
Yeah, and overall, a slightly beneficial trade for WE as they do take the dragon, right? They stop that stacking, and in the midst of all of this, the Herald was placed down by Monkey. A quick boost to his damage, and about here, sat on a ward. This could be problematic as it's not been swept, and oh dear.
Oh, Chains of Corruption come out. They land out of the Wukong clone and about caught out by the Magnet Storm. Wei continuing to advance forward, but
still alive.
Actually been bailed out for now. Does have some space to fire back, but Monkey already melted through. Cube
no
TP's
flash.
in, but he's just going right into the meat grinder. A quick double for IG as they finish off both frontliners and get ready to start off this Otacon. No smite available for WE.
And yes, About lives, but he is the sole cause for this fight and now has to try as best as he might to salvage this play. 8k on the Atacon, no jungler. I think for W, you just have to give this. Spotted on a ward, no real right for About to be there. It's an excellent ward placed down by Zhui earlier on, just knowing, okay, well, we're playing around this bot side. This Atacon has proven to be a pretty big focal point for the last minute or so. Let's put down a little bit of lingering vision. Let's make sure that actually we can find any fights around it. Oh, I mean, he's had to summon a heal there.
Oh, but that's Photic forced to flash by a nicely placed Chains of Corruption from About. Monkey tries to throw himself into the back line using that public execution, and now multiple targets locked down by those chains. Joy going to be the first one to fall in the fight. Yao Yao going to be traded onto very quickly as Renard flashes forward, starts throwing out the rocks, and will pick up a kill onto About. A 4-man squad of IG, too strong for the remaining members of WE. They'll take this mid-outer turret, and they're ready to march over to Baron.
Once again, Gordo, who's finding access to Photic. Public execution doesn't quite connect, and the Civ is able to free hit. Really, really easy fight here for Invictus Gaming, as all they've got to do is protect their AD carry. Now with 10k left on that Baron, Saburo and Renard trying to run Anchor, run Disruption. There are 3 members of WE that are going to try and find access here, and Monkey taking a fight with Saburo on the top side. He's just losing it.
Well, Renard is caught off on the other side by Cube, and Karis is dumping in the damage. The Baron will be successfully smited, though, by Wei. No contest there for WE, and Renard manages to escape with his life as well. Cube now sectioned off, focused down, and IG claim another man. Monkey and Cube now going to be down for the foreseeable future as IG look to continue to push with the Baron buff. Yao Yao finds Saburo, and Saburo finds the death screen as WE do manage to trade one back.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure here, Gordo, that this is just going to be game number 1 now for IG. It might take them a little bit more time. It might take them getting this soul, a little bit of extra time post this Baron, but they've got all of the tools here, and that gate is very aggressive from Yao Yao, forced to immediately flash.
Yao Yao going to get locked down, but he is not stopping, and Photic now going to be the focus.
He's getting healed by
2
Syndra.
stuns and an unleashed power. He just shrugs it off. He manages to walk away, but finally a snipe from About will land. The Blighted Quiver paying off big time as About turns it into a double kill and gives WE some breathing. She just shrugs off so much. They just don't have the fully scaled one-shot potential.
Renard
comes in off of the Weaver's wall, just starting this fight aggressively before Photic even shows up. I guess it doesn't matter, though, as Photic arrives off on the hunt. Cyclone holding the members of WE down as Photic takes them out for all already drop. It's about in a 1 versus 4 situation.
Well, he's
Manages
doing well.
to snipe onto Photic. Way already down as well, but Shui and Saboro will get the job done with Renard's damage. 3 members of IG left alive after the ace, and they're just gonna march it down with the Baron buff. Invictus Gaming draw first blood in our series tonight.
Yeah, About does well, but cannot do enough. The 5-item Varus not quite a contender in these late game stages. Invictus Gaming able to rally behind their carries, rally behind Renard, and rally behind Photic. Both of which having a stellar performance here in game number 1, and IG as a whole successfully take down WE. People alive for much longer and really exposes Misfortune for that lack of extended DPS. Obviously a very good wombo combo as well for WE.
Be able to play coming in on flanks later on, stack up the necessary stacks of Cultivation of War, and reset himself in the team fight to be a second source of health and a priority to be focused. But he doesn't need a win lane to do that. Is Wei going for a little invade here?
Yeah, I mean, Monkey just kind of walked into him, and the Pantheon's more than happy to, you know,
Monkey?
face check and take this 1-for-1. As, oh no, he's used his potion. Okay, 3v3.
Okay, slow up
4.
on Renard now as here comes Cube from the side. Yao Yao going to be here as well. Fires off the Q. Renard at 1 HP and one more swing of the Clockwork Windup. Showing his face down there, by the way, hanging out an enemy Tri-Brush and actually going to be able to sneak his way in here behind Photic and Xue. Photic going to be engaged on right away, going to be able to flash away from both the handshake and the wind becomes lightning. And just like that, the play is turned right back onto Yao Yao. Wei arrives to the scene, gets the stun and picks up the kill. And now About, at risk of getting taken out, needs to flash away. IG punish a play from WE that is just not executed cleanly.
Let me secure this Scuttle Crab.
Now Monkey moving his way out of that bot lane way faster than Wei is going to be the first one to show up to this Scuttle Crab, but Saboro is on top of it with a 2-level advantage. Really wants to brawl with this Xin Zhao. He doesn't get the smite. He does drop down, finally secures the Scuttle Crab, but Renard gets a kill back, and with it...
I think the former definitely commendable, the latter maybe a little bit less so. But a strong idea there, and I'm definitely here for it.
Oh, wow. Nice Solar Flare connects on a Yao Yao, and he is going to have to bail himself
Goodbye.
out there. Gets a handshake to pull Xue back underneath the turret, but Photic was the one tanking it up, so nobody going to drop down. And now about to get 1v2 Tower Dove, uses a very early cleanse, gets a kill on towards Xue, but will be no such trade onto Photic. Now Monkey trying to make a play up towards Saboro. In comes Cube with the ultimate, but not enough to be able to fully stack up his passive. Ulti in from Wei to turn the play back, knocked away by the Crescent Guard, but right back in on a Monkey goes Saboro, and the damage from Cube is just not enough. Karis arrives to the scene. The pull back in from Cube is going to allow them to finish off Saboro, but Wei executes the top laner. One more auto from Karis will allow him to get his 3rd of the game, and now Renard going to be the next target. Karis trying to chase him down, dodges out on the charm, but Xue is there. Karis doesn't care, flashes in, dissonance for another 4 kills strong. Karis trying to carry this game for WE.
And he's going to have to try as well.
And, you know, I think that's the kind of play you're going to see less of as people get more used to competitive Zehen, because he stays out of the fight for so long, all his Cultivation of War stacks drop off, and if you're not threatening to res yourself back up, this champion just doesn't do very much. Pushing onto the top side. Now Saboro going to TP down and try to brawl with Cube. Let's see how Cube plays out. This 1 versus 4 going to be chain CC'd, going to get hit with a point-blank bullet time, and going to drop on down. No too surprising there.
You know, call me a miracle worker the way I predicted he would die there. That was pretty high intellect from myself, if I do say so. Now, it does come at the cost of first brick going the way of WE, but this is gold funneled onto, it looks like just Soboro, and a little bit of plating gold will go to Photic as well off the back of this. So this Jax is going to continue to be a problem versus the Zehen in the side lane, so we will... you know, keep our eyes on that. We'll see how much that ends up playing into WE's hands. And for IG, once again, they've got a simple job. In game number 1, it was protect Photic. In game number 2, it's kill Karis.
That will be where we keep our focus. We are inching our way towards the Rift Herald spawn. Still a little ways to go before that is going to rear its head. For now, play around the mid lane. They're looking for Jue. Monkey dives in, already flash used, and Jue is done for. Question is, where does the kill go? To Karis as he gets his 5th. And this is a wealthy, wealthy Orianna, if I've ever seen one, Rooted.
Yep, and for WE, the game plan is also simple. It's protect Karis, right? This is Mr. President in the flesh right now, as we can see he's getting chaperoned up to this top wave. Sobro jumps in.
Getting on towards Karis here. They need to keep this Orianna safe. There's a TP incoming to try to cut him off, but it takes too long. He is able to create some space as Monkey dives forward. Cube TPing in on his own. They're going to knock Saboro back into the team and finish him off. Karis with another execution as he now needs to create a little bit of space. Flashes back away to stay away from the bullet time. Now trying to set up this fight in front-to-back fashion. Renard dove onto by Cube. He can't get the cultivation of war stacks in time, and now WE are dropping like flies.
Still going.
Already down and way into the back line off the Grand Starfall. Misses Comet Spear, and that might give Karis the opportunity. He needs to get away, but Photic chases him down and finds one more double up. IG take the lead.
Enough damage left in the tank for the Orianna to get out of that one.
No, not at all. And we see it again from Cube here. I think this is just something competitive as a Hens will get better at, but it's all about managing those executions on the minions, man. They hurt so bad, and it's just what you have to play around when you face down the Misfortune. Photic getting a lot of damage in there. Blade of the Rune King a lit about. Tick back up without too much trouble. And Saboro, recall, this guy's a 1.5k ahead of Cube, but now Cube turned it back around, has the full stacks of Cultivation of War, and that is the signal for Saboro to back away. Monkey, meanwhile, was able to secure.
It's a win on all sides, but we are seeing a big commit down to that bot side. Cube now in trouble.
Yeah, he's without those Cultivation of War stacks now. Stacked him up earlier against Saboro, but now that they fade away, rather, joining up with the team in the mid lane.
But that turret's dead.
Yeah, it will fall on down as the Rift Herald charges in, but Renard now with a backline engage. They're going to ulti on the way, but here comes Renard trying to get on towards Karis. Karis still raining through quite a bit of damage from that lead he built up on the Orianna. The first kill of the fight going to come through on towards Wei, and Jue soon to follow his jungler. Big flash in from Saboro as he finds a 3-man Counter-Strike stun. Only going to be able to find the kill onto the support for now. Karis is in the bailout, but he will not be able to find the res, and Saboro just bonks each member in turn. That's an ace for Invictus Gaming.
TP flank, it's an incredible fight engage, and the re-engage that came through from this Jax, absolutely monumental. Renard able to make his way down to that bot side and push an extra wave. They take layered on top, takes down Yao very quickly, able to wait for his cooldowns, and unfortunately about not quite strong enough to get through this Jax. And you can see, despite all of these Ren stacks being built up, one redemption comes in, keeps Saboro alive, and even unlive at this point. We are just seeing that Yao's getting caught out, trying to ward up his jungle, and IG in a position to threaten him and punish him for that.
Thought there was an opportunity for WE to get back into it, but no such luck once the top laner arrives. And Saboro going to look to keep this train rolling. Picks off Cube. Renard there with the charm to back him up, and Renard will hunt down the kill. Photic, meanwhile, finishes off a bout, and IG just keep them on coming. 2 more to the red side.
This whole time, by the way, Wei is just soloing Atacon. He took it down that bot side, as it does look like IG knew that there was an Orianna waiting in that brush. They take the Dragon, they take the Atacon, they take the mid lane tier 2. I think that flash probably warranted, as there were 4 members of WE all sort of waiting there, and I don't quite think that the rest of IG would have been ready to respond. Siege, overall, you can see how successful that's been, and versus, Orianna versus the ability to wave clear, not too well.
Yeah, nice combo there. Saboro finds the Counter-Strike stun.
Oh, hi, Wei.
Renard finds the charm, and Wei is here for emotional support as they look to take down the inner turret. IG with the very easy time of it here.
Safety provided from the extra HP, from the Malignance, and the reduced cooldown on summoner spells and ultis. This RA should be feeling pretty darn safe.
4v4 breaking out in mid here. Jue going to throw out the Solar Flare. Doesn't connect the stun onto anybody. Saboro coming in on the flank, though. Comes in for another triple stun. Only gets it onto Karis, but Karis is the most important target anyway. Hostile takeover. Connecting onto 4. It's massive for Yao, but it's just too little, and it's just too late. 4 members already down. Cube, the last one respawning, and he'll hit the dirt as well. An ace for 1 for Invictus Gaming, and they're ready to close this series out nice and early. you, Rudude.
It's an absolute stomp from IG. 10 to 26, a 10k gold lead. Photic flashing on the double turrets.
I think that for the most part, Cassante will be more so a weak side here and will win later on.
Right.
The problem with Ma is that it's a skill matchup, yes, but if you're really good at it, you know...
Excel, there's nothing more volatile than the LPL free agency market, no matter what time of year it is. This is kind of a big tryout maybe for a guy like YXL, because you know you're not going to move Knight off his mid lane position. He's going to get moved off of his mid lane position in our game as he has to burn the flash, and just like that, First Blood's going to come across here to Haichao. Shun, though, going to find the dive trade to make Starry's life even more living hell here, and even the kill count at 1 apiece.
Renekton's going to hit 6, you're level 3. There is a timer there for, if Moham's roaming like he is, for the Renekton to, like, for Bin to solo kill Starry here, but YXL...
Oh my god, Moham flashes right on top to layer all the CC down. YXL, no flash, remember. It's a flash forward here from Juhan to make sure they have more than enough damage, and there's one of Jay Beto's early calls. Get the Kiana rolling early. Has a first kill early on here as Starry is going to get dove. Doesn't get slammed into the wall, but On is taking enough to tank up that turn, and this time Viper does claim the kill. You may get the rest of your map fed, OMG, but Starry is drowning on this bot side. You've been talking about to be able to just kind of punish that melee-centric damage-dealing comp in these later fights. We'll have to keep a tab on that as Shun gets access to level 6, and what does he do? He flash ults right on top of Harry's head. Didn't have a chance to flash, use any other abilities. It's a kill over to Bin. Solo lanes. So Bin is also safe to farm up here, but it's actually OMG that are going to press the issue a bit as Juhan is going to secure that first scrub, and it looks like OMG are going to respect Billy Gaming and just take one away. No smite available for Juhan just yet. There's the smite out of Shun to go 1 for 1, and yeah, they're just... It's all bark, but no bite right here for OMG. And maybe I spoke too soon. Moham's going to re-engage. Oh, that is not the greatest Kiana ult to find any sort of slam. The Moonlight Vigil also comes out. It's kind of just a lot of awkward dancing around, trying to claim some vision on... Won't get hit by the Zenith Blade there from Moham, but he still commits the Solar Flare with Junhan nearby. There's a Supreme Display of Talent. Unstoppable Force does get canceled. Viper can't touch Starry with that range out of the green gun. The Arc of Ruin not going to save him. Dodges 1Q, but still has to flash away.
He was stuck there tanking damage. At this point in the game, you'd be happy for Viper to take that trade, flash away from... maybe the Starry ultimate or some of the burst damage and actually win out on that 1v1, but instead forced to flash away. OMG, catch on lacking.
Copy-paste meme for a reason, so I would hope to see that this doesn't really come to fruition. Nastra's Tooth is done here for YXL, so at least matching in power. But all right, Shun really wants to go for this. He's come around the wall here. He has the Unstoppable Force. They're going to go just for the all-in.
Wow.
Harry's health bar is low enough. No Cassante outplays around the turret here. It's another rinse and repeat kill from Bin and Shun.
That was perfect. I mean, Harry's only counterplay there is to flash the initial engage, but once it's hit, he CC chains to the point. Hold on.
Oh, on full Leona combination comes down. Haichao also with the hijacked ultimate, but YXL gets a ton of time with this National 2. He's going to push Haichao into the air as they finish off Moham. There's the Keeper's Verdict knockup as well from On. He'll trade his life, but that's a happy sacrifice as he throws up the thumbs up because his mid laner just picked up a crucial double kill.
OMG and BLG now around. TPs on both the members in the bot lane if they want to fight for this Herald.
He's got his Bash Bro with him again. Shun's here with Unstoppable Force. It is a 3v2, two separate fights kind of breaking out here. TP's coming behind. That is YXL. Juhan going to have to flash away from Shun. There's the hijacked Unstoppable Force into the Supreme Display of Talent. Really good ult layering coming across there from ONGs to get the kill onto Shun. YXL on the top side trying to get that lethal tempo going. His bid with the Dominus pop. Really can't find a target until he sets his sights on Moham. Cuts him down to size. Starry is ghosted in. The all-out comes across from Harry, sending him into a 1v1 with Viper. Just like yesterday, Viper doesn't have a shot in hell as the Cassante forces a 1v1. And it's all on to Bin and YXL. YXL gonna have to do the heavy lifting with the Graviton root flash forward into the Moonlight Vigil from Starry. Shuts everybody but Bin down. OMG, open our game back open.
Bin was also zoned away from that fight, but BLG, despite losing it, will get the Herald for themselves. OMG will trade the Dragon, and Bin will get that first brick we were talking about a little bit earlier, so should be feats of strength over to BLG.
Classic little maneuver here. Gonna force all of OMG's attention towards this mid lane. Might even be able to get this. Yep, they will get that mid-tier 1 secured. Shun, I think he's going to... Oh, he tries to... I think he wanted to ride that out towards the Otacon. That's a really smart smite there from Juhan to make sure that... I wonder how much of a willing trade that is for On to make here, because he's more than willing to sacrifice his health bar. Haichao, good call out there. Want to watch out towards the flank side as well. There's a solar flare coming across, hitting absolutely nothing. The Otacon is now down below half HP. Haichao's going to come through with the flank. He wants the unstoppable force to steal away. There's the engagement. Moham gets thrown over the wall by YXL. He gets himself out. Haichao hijacks his own Shuriman shuffle, but he doesn't get onto Viper in time. Haichao finally executes him. Supreme's Play Talent comes down as well, but YXL's been left untouched until Juhan finally hops on top of him, but he can't deal with the Azir on his own. He needs the help of Starry, who cuts down Shun for size for a multi-kill, and he's flashing after YXL. The dash to buy him some space, the slows coming across, and it seems like YXL is going to be able to limp his way out of here and pick up another fight win.
They will be able to get the Dragon too. The health bars of OMG are a little bit low though, so maybe waiting on these respawns until that next fight, but away from Harry. If it was a 4-for-4, maybe you'd take positive odds, but the fact that hold on.
Oh, on. Solar Flare down. All the stuns coming through from Juhan as well. But the unstoppable force. Shun throws the big rock right towards Juhan's head. He thought he had a magic pick onto On. Might have happened earlier in 2025, but this PLC is not going to let their support go for nothing. And now they have a critical dragon they could secure as Bin goes toe-to-toe with Haichao. Shuriman shuffle from YXL throws Moham into the waiting arms of Viper. And BLG look to have finally found their form after getting knocked around at the Otacon pit.
Not only on a Knife's Edge or hold on, Baron Star is completely Darkslayer.
Yep, there's the
nice blue.
They seek it out with the blue ward there. On's going to try and play Protector. How creative can Juhan get into this pit here? He doesn't have a blast cone anymore. He has to flash over the wall, but they immediately ult top of his head. Both jugglers trade their ults. YXL throws it back towards the rest of his team, and he cannot smite the Baron away. Once again, they have to sacrifice Viper to make this play work, and now it's going to be Shun at 1 HP that picks up the Baron, but at what cost, Billy Gaming? Your backline is gone. Your entire team wiped to the wayside. OMG, ace home.
Squid play in the mouth. We haven't really seen it so far. OMG slam the Silas. They're not concerned about any... Oh, hold on. Wait,
no, BLG grabbed the Baron.
No, BLG got Baron.
Home. Yeah, Shun smited home right before he died.
No Barons here.
No Baron.
It never happened. I don't even remember it. I don't even remember the Baron. It didn't exist.
Nope, didn't at all. You know what does exist, though? Slip their way into a winning fight position. They're a little late this time. Shun and Viper have burned down this dragon. And for the first time, OMG can't wiggle their way in for a big objective. It's BLG that even up our Drake count.
Well, I mean, this Cassante, you can try, but he's very tanky.
All right. I mean, there's no assistance that's going to be coming anytime soon here. And Harry does use the sweeper, so at least spot it out maybe a second ahead. Unstoppable force drop through. All Out does not pull far over the wall. On's going to get the stun. Harry's going to have to flash. Bin's going to flash after him. Can he get the stun through? Yes, he can. No unstoppable for him. It took a lot. But Viper does pick up that kill, and that may be a really big push here for that Infinity Edge we're looking for.
Yeah, this is a big risk, though. If Viper doesn't have it in base, does he have Infinity Edge completed in base? He's just taken a base, he's coming out. He does have it. Okay, that was huge, because you're risking, you lose the top tier 2. Guaranteed you're all showing bot lane.
But this Baron may very well be done before Harry can even get back out onto the map. Haichao TP's on one side. It's Mohamed Starry, the bottom lane, coming up from the other. It has to be these creative flank angles
this
for
is sketchy.
Down a man. They're going to throw themselves into the pit. They go after YXL. He goes into the stasis. Viper has to flash away from Haichao. Can he get enough damage? Now it's a huge Emperor's Divide from YXL to buy Viper just enough time to get this fight done. Starry way too low to compete with anybody, and Shun's going to chase him down. The Baron not needed. It was set up for Billy to finally find themselves a fight win. Minus some summoners and a lot of ultimates. Azir and this Renekton could do so much work on this Baron, and I mean, how do you get in if you're Juhan? It's a Dominus popped Renekton playing bodyguard. Really smart call there from Shun to get BLG right back out onto the map and lock down the Baron as this Infernal Drake spawns on the other side of the map. And they're going to hop right onto the Dragon themselves. If you thought their Baron shred was fast, Dragon would be as well, but they just want to get Juhan out of the picture, get rid of that Kiana ultimate. And Juhan has been routed, hiding in the invis for only a matter of time. Viper picks up that kill. What a couple macro plays we've seen BLG pull out to separate themselves in a very scrappy game 1.
High Chow's over the wall, though. There is a ward on the Dragon. He's not going to go for it. BLG pushing in will break this top tier 2 over. Slayer, I remember hearing you on the LPL this year talking about BLG post 30 minutes win percentage being really low. This looks completely different.
Yep, this is a new look BLG. Good call there, Jay Beto. Gonna break open the base of OMG here. Moonlight Vigil only gonna get that Infernum shot onto On, who just drops the Redemption, heals himself back up, and the inhibitor's next to fall here. Juhan's still out for another 20-ish seconds, and BLG, they want to end this game now. No more risking around with an OMG upset. They're on to the Nexus turrets. First one is going to go down as they bunt out Haichao, just like you want to see, Jay Beto, and they knock down Moham. Unstoppable Force under the turret from Shun. Maybe went a bit too far here. They need YXL knock down the turret. He does it, and he glides on in to cut down Starry for size, but they do lose Viper on the backside of this fight thanks to Harry in the all-out form. YXL goes down as well as Juhan finally respawns. BLG bit off way more than they could chew, and they've opened the door once again for OMG to keep our game alive.
Had to choose, you probably take the Soul for Baron trade in favor of Soul.
You don't need too much more pushing power. It's really just one more fight win that you need to finish this game off. Star gets a ton of damage down onto On. Moonlight Vigil going to be committed. YXL going to easily chop that one down. Redemption gets a ton of value here for BLG, so they trade one ult. Moham going to go right on top of Viper, though. Gets into the stasis, and it's YXL that gets rid of Starry. Both AD carries down early, but Viper doesn't have enough damage to trade out Juhan. YXL doesn't have enough to trade out Starry either, though. There's the hijacked Unstoppable Force from Haichao. YXL has to flash dash out of dodge, but Haichao is looking to hunt him down and will find that kill. It's only Bin and Shun left up. Make it Shun as the GA comes out here. OMG, maybe do they finally have the shot to pull off the upset? They've got the waves, and this hype train of OMG is going to keep on rolling. They cut BLG down to size and shock the Demacia Cup with a Game 1 win.
This is absolutely a game that BLG are favored in. The odds would be insane for BLG, but it's the GA from Starry. They land onto Starry. The GA is massive. And Viper, we had one fight where we were all together, playing together, YXL and On, standing close. There's just not enough damage in the game before Giant Slayer gets added back to LDR. You need, Kai'Sa, Azir. That's not really getting picked up. The LPL hasn't been favoring Azir.
He trades On's flash for it. So it's OMG forcing their way in here, and they're going to come away the victors in feats of monster slaying and overall turret pressure with 2 grubs to 1.
Yeah, YXL did hit the ult on the Haichao, which would have been a decent chunk, but also did get the full wave to rotate in. But once that ult is down, Shun got 1 grub and now paths down to the Drake. I think that's a pretty good trade for BLG, though, and they're setting up this dive in top.
All right, there they go. Cancel. Unbreakable Will comes down, layering all the CC over with the Cyclones. Shades of Corruption is going to snipe out onto Juhan, but he doesn't have turret aggro, and now Viper's under threat. That's a big tower chunk that Starry eats, but Viper dies with his support. They get a 2-for-1 when all they wanted was On.
BLG, that's not what I meant when I said play together. So Haichao, hold on.
Oh,
Juhan,
right.
Here's a heal.
Oh, he's going to flash over the wall, headbutt pulverize onto On. He's going to try to drop the depth charge, but the Cyclone dash forward is going to get On very, very low. Crescent Guard comes across. Oh, the cube boomerang finds the kill there onto On from Starry, and now they can turn their attention towards June. Headbutt pulverize comes right back up for On, and there's the BAP of the staff coming across here for Juhan. Not enough damage behind that piercing arrow. It's a 4-0 start for OMG.
There's nothing else to say, Slayer, other than OMG are just more proactive in this series because of the Akali. Even if this was a bit more of a damaging or nice TP behind.
Bin maybe under threat here. Harry going to get the knock up. Bin is slowed up. This is a 1v3. Bin's caught out. Talks so much about the side lanes. He throws the Grim Deliverance out. It doesn't matter. Bin now picked off on the side lane. Haichao cashes in on that Dark Seal.
Dragon fight. That will be 2 for them. Base is cancelled, though.
Oh, man. And that's first brick on the bot side. That's feats of strength over to OMG. They get the boots upgrade. Dragon's still going to be forced, but this really feels like a bit of a desperate issue here from Shun. They do eat the depth charge on Moham. They force the Unbreakable Will out. Now the TP's going to come through. Can Harry cancel this? Yes, he can.
Canceled.
No, Oriana can join this fight. Starry on the top side, trying to find some space, get some of these autos down. As Haichao jumps on a very low HP Shun. There goes another kill. 5 kills to nothing for OMG, and they're looking for more as Viper eats a perfect execution to the face. Make it 6 kills to nothing. Finally, it's YXL. It's going to get them on the board, but Harry, a valiant sacrifice, make sure it's a 4v4 and, more importantly, a winning fight again for OMG.
YXL's got to be careful here because the Scion will
God,
do a lot of damage. Oh, that was nearly
short.
disaster. It still will be disaster. He's just dead here.
Oh my God, Hai Chao pops on out. The minion wave is doing YXL dirty. You got to think he wants the execute. He might actually get it here. I wonder how close the timer is. Oh, the rocket belt. There it goes. No execute. Hai Chao, another kill towards his Dark Seal and towards this monumental OMG gold lead. And they're looking for more here. Zon searching for some vision in the enemy jungle. All right, the depth charge gets him out, but the headline here, Jay Beto, that is a 3.5K gold lead for OMG in a shutout game 2. And maybe they're finally now looking for more here. Headbutt pulverize, stuns land on top of On, and they've got more than enough damage in the Wukong Sivir combination.
Again, is putting on a masterclass of how to play these melee mid laners for help, but Aura TP Mog moment from Moham as he TPs in, but OMG showing up with numbers. There's no tier 1 tower, so they can be chased out.
All right, unstoppable onslaught forward, and they section off YXL, straying the sheep away from the pack, and you have yourself lamb for dinner. Nice 3-man shockwave there, YXL. It doesn't matter. You are still fodder towards the cannon that is becoming starry. Give him a 4th.
Again, the gold lead is just climbing and climbing for OMG. Game 1 was at least close to Slayer. This game feels like BLG have fallen apart at the seams. You know, is Viper getting left out to dry a little bit? Is it his positioning? Is it YXL? Is it On? But the overarching story here is that BLG have issues they still need to sort out. It's very early in the season. This is their 2nd game. But OMG.
Oh, that is a gank of heavy proportion. Another casual flash taken off of On, and will be revisited later. See a turret back over for Bin, gets it on the top side.
Hopefully not Viper Life esports anymore, but BLG should give this Drake. It's not a requirement for them to fight. If they do fight and Starry gets Mortal Reminder this early, the game is kind of just done. There's nothing BLG can do.
With an Octagon on the board. All right, they're going to try and show up late. Depth charge on a Hai Chao. He goes into the Shroud, and the anchor goes wide, and he just gets headbutt pulverized in the back of OMG. Oh, that's the On that I did not like to see on the world stage a couple of months ago. And it's immediately a 4v5 with no real engage tool. How do BLG get in here? It has to be Shungo for the hero steal.
Hai Chao
going after Viper. Flash for flash. The shockwave hit nobody. The Crescent Guard stopped by any time for Shun. And now OMG can just crumple BLG into a piece of paper and throw him towards the waste bin. It's the solo lanes that are only left up. Octagon was taken. OMG have their cake, and they're eating it too with a big old smile on their face.
OMG in this 2nd game.
Because like you mentioned, game 1, it was back and forth for a lot of points. It was 40 minutes long. This game, it's 24 minutes in. It's 13-1 on the kill count. Maybe they have an angle here, but the redemption, there's just no damage from Viper or YXL at this point. They are just freshly on 2 items, 2 scaling items for YXL. What they will do
Hai Chao again.
For a disgusting Hai Chao flank. I can't believe I just said that out loud. Disgusting Hai Chao flank. Here it comes, folks. You are not dreaming. Oh my God, there's the unstoppable onslaught.
Oh!
Double knock up. Immediate double kill for Hai Chao comes across here. Starry hasn't even stepped foot into this fight yet, and it's already is done and dusted. Shun goes down. Everybody wiping down in the name of OMG. They're not going to even need Baron. All they're going to need is the shock and awe of this series score. Nice Grim Deliverance. Nice Cultivation of War stacked up. Hey, you finally got the big passive here, Ben. What is it going to get you? Not even a trade kill. Just a stall out as OMG clean ace BLG home.
Hai Chao again with a flank of a century. How does he find these angles? OMG, their convergence, their dive, their team fighting is so good in this series. Hai Chao. Hai Chao.
8 level
Oh
difference.
my God.
No, sorry, 9 level difference.
Look at the camera. He's put his hands up in the air. He's celebrating. He knows he's dead here. Is he? I mean, he should be, but... Oh my God.
Okay, all right.
I'm going to get off the point. I don't like him. I think Zehen is overrated, but...
Victory march is in. They've got the Baron power play flowing. They're taking down these structures like they're made of paper. There's a tier 2 turret down on the bot side. We're going to sit back here and talk about the great Hai Chao game, the great Hai Chao series on the Silas and the Akali to usher us in here to 2026.
And then maybe BLG can end the game or get a bunch of gold back, but OMG playing slow. Baron wars off. The tier 2 falls the exact same moment. OMG, though, still pushing up a little bit. Looks like they are starting to shift away from getting these turrets. It is the smart decision. You've got 2.5 minutes on Baron and Sol here.
Guys, this doesn't work. He's all armor. He doesn't take any damage, and Shun's going to pay for his transgressions of dashing in. Crescent Guard shouldn't save him from this Wukong, and definitely not Haichao, who flies on in to grab himself the game-leading 9th kill of the game. Bin with the flank here, trying to get the Cultivation War stacked up, but Haichao is 1, Haichao is 2, Haichao is 3. He's looking to see if he can maybe get himself a Demacia Cup pentakill. There's the revive on the Cultivation of War. That is still very broken. Bin gets a full refresh on his health bar, and it may not be the quadra kill on the official scoreboard, but it's 4 kills nonetheless for Haichao. And most importantly, the headline to read here, folks, OMG are 4-0 in Group B, the group of death, knocking down Weibo Gaming and Billy Gaming in sweeping fashions. Welcome to the Demacia Cup, everybody. How are we feeling? What are those win cons that I like to hear from you?
Late game. Talia, 4 items you need. Yunara, late game. Lulu, late game. Aphelios, late game.
Same time, but JJ is going to have a lot more power compared to that Wukong. The Vi with that Vault Breaker can make things happen. No ultimate needed.
Croco is here first, though. JJ hasn't pathed down. It's going to be a flip around the scuttle, though. Missing has rotated up and will spot the ward, but JJ walking in.
Okay, gonna reward. Croco does not have smite, neither does JJ. It's Erha and Elk. They're trying to move on up here. The hook lands onto Erha. They're trying to burn through the Lulu first. There's the double Graviton root, and that's enough to set up Croco to grab first blood. 1xN gets himself out of dodge, and now JJ doesn't have the spells to come back up. 1xN gets his revenge, and it's a beauty of a start here for LNG. They even get Elk Flash over the fat wall as the cherry on top to a 2-0 start.
Yeah, Croco did use ult there, but LNG with missing rotating up to the mid lane, 1xN taking over the top lane are way stronger around these grubs. Looks like Croco, nice shove.
All right, missing, he does have to flash out of the seismic shove, so we're getting that really valuable summoner spell coming off of a lot of champions at about the same time. And at the same time, as this grub spawn, JJ has the support of Erha and Zika. Ooh, that grub resetting, though, is pretty painful. I think the ultimate advantage for JJ is what's really assuaging LNG from committing to this one, but they'll be happy to take this time because Sheer on that Rumble that you highlighted, I mean, what, couple of wave advantage, 2 solo plates. This is a very, very strong Rumble.
The JJ cover of this top lane dive. If Sheer, no flash, no ult, he needs to be aware that this is a potential.
Nice, Sheer. Yeah, you even see Xiaohu's off the map at this point. So alarm bells have to be ringing, missing both of those 2 members. Dragon secured for Croco. Yeah, it's plates for Elk and Erha, but it's really big there for Sheer to keep himself protected.
And both Xiaohu and JJ aware of that. Bulldog will play very safe here, but Weibo still hunting. Might just be a dragon for Herald trade. No, Croco's up in the top lane. They want the Herald.
All right, he's going to find the ward in the pit as well. Immediately starts up the Herald. Both top laners going to have access to... Oh, actually, I think that's TP advantage here for Sheer for the time being. Wonder how much that assuages Weibo from trying to contest this Herald as it is rapidly depleting its health bar. First from over for the bot lane as well. You got JJ in the back of the pit. There's the Weaver's Wall from Xiaohu. They're going to separate everybody. Croco on one side, the rest of LNG on the other, but they don't snap engage. Charm lands on Erha. Amelia has to commit the flash. No seismic shove on the missing. Croco doesn't want to let this thing load up for a 50-50. It's JJ that goes for it, but it's Croco that secures it. Vault Breaker's in after Croco, but that's a one-way mission. JJ goes down first, and look at Sheer burn down the bot lane. Boom goes the dynamite just like that. It's a 5-0 ace for LNG.
Klein. Croco plays this bait where he's pulling JJ in around the Herald, and yeah, he flips it and gets it. That's great, but he's pulling the front line away from Weibo as LNG is circling around behind. We'll watch when we get into this replay, hopefully, but as soon as Weibo are too far forward and Rumble TP's in, what?
Do not give this man Rumble on blue side, all right? Do not give this man Rumble on blue side. It's a lesson that the Demacia Cup teams are having to learn, but again, it's just so awesome to see already the evolution of Bulldog and Croco together. I gotta start. Is there a way for me to gamble against my caster curse? Can we get that online? Was I just
pretty
praising
bad.
Sheer? Oh man,
That's pretty bad.
That's the second bad one today, J. Beto.
LNG, they don't want to leave that just. The hook goes wide, but missing nearly protected him.
Import. And then now we have Croco and Bulldog. Again, I want to put the asterisk. It is Demacia Cup, but Croco and Bulldog coming on in here is the lesser talked about imports onto a mid-jungle team's slots. And they are impressing so far, especially in this stage 2.
Oh, could be a tower. Again, Sheer playing the weak side so well. Very aware. Does he have ult? He get ult the wave here. That's so well played from Sheer. Even if you lose the tower, you collect a lot of that gold. You don't die on the weak side. Your team is up in top, breaking open a tier 2. That is very good for LNG.
It's Croco
Bulldog
and
as well, remember, did not have a good year in 2025. Again, it's really hard to have a good year when you're on DNF and looking as bad as he did, but Weibo trying to find something back here with the Atacon, but LNG just keep going forwards.
Okay, they're gonna. It's a gold for experience trade here, right? They're not gonna get here in time for the Atacon. I'd like to think Sheer is playing a madman, just running right at JJ.
Oh my God!
JJ, hold on! Oh my God!
No way!
Gets in and takes the Atacon. Nothing going right for Weibo. They thought they had themselves an experience for gold trade, but they just got scammed. How close we are to some serious item disadvantages. There already are some in the jungle position, obviously that full item up, but LNG are going to likely spike onto these 3 item slots on like Aphelios and this Rumble right as this Baron comes up, Jay Beto.
Yeah, Weibo in full defensive mode here, bringing out their defensive playbook. Maybe a little cheeky stay here in the brush, but I don't think they know. LNG are 5 strong, waiting to find you.
Further. Listen, there's been a lot of roster swapping going on, but there are few, if not any other teams that have swapped out all 5 members from their 2025 campaign. That is what LNG has done. So to see 5 members, including 2 imports, come in and already synergize like this, I wonder how much that really does speak to Missing taking on this leadership role on this new team. Again, Missing, if you think back to his career, has never been the sole veteran, the sole leading voice on a team, like it really feels like he will be for LNG. He's certainly the oldest member of this team. That's never happened for him in his very long career.
Blue Orb will spot out LNG. They're not on the Baron, but Missing constantly driving forward, misses the hook. That's one of not many misses this game, but everything. I mean, he's around the Baron first, pulling 1xN in, setting up, we're setting a bait here, and look at LNG. Wherever they move, they're always together. They've got a plan. They're spread out in a way that is cohesive for a team fight. Croco, too far forward, doesn't get caught out, backs off early because his team is backing off. They're all on the same page here, LNG are. Bulldog is pushed in the bot wave. They'll be losing a lot of gold. Weibo will be losing lots of waves here, and unless Weibo can somehow pull Baron, you can never walk in bot side here.
Missing. Oh,
that's a great hook.
Immediately. Zika's got to tank that, but instead it's the cleanser goes down, and that's immediately trigger pulled. Croco goes towards Elk, but it's actually Bulldog running down at Xiaohu. They have to get the wild growth on top of the Talia, but they've already cut down Elk. Shear's in a very advantageous 1v1 with JJ. The Vault Breaker into that seismic shove. You needed that combo earlier, Weibo. It's too little, too late by this point into the game, and LNG might not even need Baron. They've got the wave knocking on the inhibitor door. It's only Erhan to stand in the way of a dominating start to this series from LNG.
And Slayer, we were talking about this series being exciting and super close, and it is exciting. LNG, they playing so beautifully, but it's not close.
Not close at all. Our quickest game of the day. 27.5 minutes. LNG with a statement start to a very important Group B series. He actually made a critical pick onto On and Viper to get LNG going. After that, the bar got a little bit murky, but again, how much Missing wants to be a part of all these plays for LNG, like we saw in Game 1, the Bard is hand-in-hand with that style. Croco is so far ahead of his clear, he was waiting for Grom to show up. That's the pace he's at. Maybe a gank looking on the top side. Yeah, JJ has a timer here. Sheer, I don't even know if Flash really gets him out here. He flashes, the slow still comes across. JJ Win becomes lightning. Flash, hop forward, and there's Zika on the board. The counter pick just got a lot harder for LNG's top laner.
Yeah, especially because Croco's top side now. You see Erha getting some really deep vision just as a self-ward sitting there in the brush. Scuttle respawns. Weibo will start it up, but LNG don't want to give this up.
Oh, missing flash to get the stun. Good shield comes up, though, for JJ, and 1xN tries to walk around it. Concussive blows are going to stack here, but Bulldog swings on in first, picks up the first kill. One trade back for Elk, but low health bar on Erha, and the double stun from missing is absolutely filthy, but the concussive blows mean that Elk can get one back out. It's a 3-3 trade.
Spawn and Weibo the ones here first.
Bulldog is making the run up. Xiaohu does not have TP. So LNG can bring a 5-stack over here.
The Dragon is still up, but Bulldog will scout it out. JJ not wanting to start that up. Cautious of the roam to pull Bulldog off. But now LNG TPing down to the bot lane. They're going to get this Drake most likely as JJ is in the top side. Lucian stuck under tower collecting away by himself as Erhard rotated over. So or sustainability. Elk has the Essence Reaver on the wave, so he's permanently full mana. Hold on.
All right, JJ looking for the knock-up here onto Kroko. Exhaust. Oh, they try to go after
Nice
Elk, but that's the
flash.
flash out of the public execution. Cressigar going to come down. There is the Tempered Fate. The shield blocks a ton of that bullet time. But some aching health bars on the Weibo side. Still the re-engage from JJ. He sets up the shockwave onto Kroko, but the stun from missing makes sure that Kroko can get out. Full culling in here by 1xN, but Kroko is trapped in the back of the pit, and Xiaohu will find the kill. What a topsy-turvy fight, and somehow we only come away with 1 kill or less. Oh, JJ going after Bulldog. The Shroud, the portal, he's still going to chase after Bulldog. Really wants this kill, but he'll take the flash instead. Herald spawning in about a minute's time with virtually everybody on one item. Kroko throws out a bit of a fish hook there, doesn't find anything, and it's going to get missing killed here. Great snap engage there for JJ. Elk, 3 kills deep now, going into our mid-game. Trading Dragon, stacking 4 feats of strength. Zika is given all the time in the world.
Oh,
to
no,
find
they're not.
that first
It's a race. It's a race, Slayer. Oh, if he got first turret, it would have been feats over to Weibo, but he didn't get it. Blame me. Tonight's been an exciting nights of games, but
no
no
the turret,
turret.
not Xiaohu gets turned off. There's the missing stun. Good night, sweet Professor Xiaohu.
Doesn't hit Xiaohu, and the dive is easy from LNG. They will get the Herald Weibo at least, so that's a prize back, but LNG fighting Claw back in this game. They've got 2 Drakes already. It's Ocean Soul.
Or maybe they get the turret here.
Push up
Maybe,
to this
oh,
mid
there's
tower.
bullet time. Oh, okay.
nice shockwave.
Onyxen has to flash away from a shockwave. The shield also is going to make sure the wave does get up there. Might have just been wiser to sacrifice that turret than lose a flash off of a player like 1xN.
Room for Xiaohu to push down this turret.
Oh,
LNG
I
with
like
an
this
answer,
stuff.
though. Bulldog plays respectful, pulls back, and he's TPing up as well.
Zika's coming as well, but this Otacon's gone. I don't even think Wave will get close enough. They could have tried to just trade the Dragon. Now they're walking back to go for it, but that is a lot of lost time. They're going to try and split the map here, play for this tier 2 turret, but excellent TP coming across here. That is going to be sheer to cover. Dragon, really smart move on the map.
As well as because of the prior that Weibo have. With the way that the mid lane is going there, you can't walk in as LNG without trying to send. Hold on.
Okay, Zika. Public execution is going to hit. The Counter-Strike is down. He's going to try a flashback under his own turret. Missing has the aggro. Erha's playing a really good protection job, but there's the turret turned off, and they get rid of Erha first before Zika respawns, but he comes back up with his Counter-Strike, gets a clutch stun. Bulldog has to flash and dash his way out. He sets up Kroko to get the tier 2 turret, and now they're trying to protect with Elk, and he gets the kill through for Zika. Flashes don't matter. Kroko goes down. Costly dive for LNG.
Kroko not happy with that one in the player cams, but Jeje's chasing 1xN.
Oh, I think he's going to catch him. The flash to get the knockup. Beautiful usage of the Raptors to get that knockup guaranteed. The shockwave comes across, and Weibo collect their golden kills to give themselves a final gold lead. 2,000 gold right now. He's got the Seeker's arm guard. You thought it was hard to kill the Jax with Counter-Strike, constantly coming back up. Now he has a stasis. Errol's going to face check into Kroko, throw the exhaust out. The public execution is not going to provide any space for Kroko. The temper fate doesn't hit the targets. There's the redemption coming across. Kroko dies. How much more can they get? There is the Zahed ultimate down for Sheer. He has the Cultivation War fully stacked up, and he's ready to brawl. But his AD carry is not close by enough yet. The health bar comes back up, but they just can't get 1xN into this fight, and it's going to give Weibo the big-time win in the jungle.
They put up all their wards. They base for more wards. Can Zika find anything?
I mean, he wins this so easily up against Bulldog. There's no turret for Bulldog to get back to. There's the perfect execution to provide some space here. But, man, so much damage out of Zika. He's going to respect Bulldog. Just kidding. There's another crazy E2 from Bulldog. Somehow Xiaohu actually picks up that kill.
Position and sweep out all the vision LNG got. So Bulldog dies completely in vain there. It's a tough ask. That's for this Dragon, denying more sacking from LNG, starting up themselves. But again, look. They've completely denied vision on the top side. LNG used their tempo to collect the vision. Up here top, it's completely dark again. There it is. No vision. There's no vision anymore for LNG.
Nope, and they still have so many pink wards to deal with. There's the pink ward from Kroko to actually spot out another Baron start. And this time they do get the TP. Oh my god, missing. Oh, right. That is a certified int TP I've ever seen it. Or maybe it's time for the bullet time into Kroko flying into the background. Down goes Elkin just like that. The fight turns on its head. But you still have to worry about Zika. This big, bad Juggernaut Jax is really hard to deal with. And he hops right on top of 1xN, chasing him down. Counter-strike up. 1xN has to flash away from that one. But Zahen has the full Cultivation War stacked up. Stasis comes across. Zika has to flash back out. Re-engage from JJ. But the revive comes across. Kroko re-engages. But how does 1xN get into this fight? He can't step up with the threat of Zika's Jax until he has Sheer with him. But even at that point, it's so hard to kill the Weibo top laner.
By himself, how does LNG even play here? The macro from Weibo is just so good.
Oh no, Missing's getting caught again. You have to flash out of the same spot he took the portal into, but Kroko has found Xiaohu. Redemption's coming across. Elk is here first. Kroko does not have the support of his team. Can he at least trade Xiaohu out? No! Blinking 1 HP health bar for the general, but he walks out to the Redemption snipe from Missing. All right, Sheer's TPing back in. It's going to have to be a fight. There's no way to win the smite against JJ unless he really griefs his smite key here. And again, who engages for this team if it's not Kroko? You got to find a way in here. A Bard stun. Zika's going to channel the Counter-Strike. Bulldog is chilling in the Shroud. Gets knocked out of it. Has to go into the Stasis alongside Zika. Tempered Fate is going to hit the back line. Sheer's trying to go forward so he get towards Elk. There's the Grim Deliverance right on top of JJ, but he does have the GA. He is willing to drop here. Sheer is as well, so go into the revive. The bullet time gets rid of Zika.
Zika's dead.
Play for 1xN, and now he can finally free run, trying to find some of these low health bar members. Elk dashes out. Sheer cannot get the pullback on the W. LNG, they can get desperate here. They can look for the Baron. There's the public execution. It's blind from Kroko, and it does still find Erha. Xiaohu's going to be the target here. Goes into the Stasis. The Glacial Fissure to try to buy time to get their Orianna back up. But this time, Xiaohu cannot walk out. This time, 1xN can use the full power of his Misfortunes kit, and Zahen has been unleashed. LNG are not done in game 2.
LNG wait 34 minutes. They wait 34 minutes, Slayer, biding their time, losing waves. They find 2 good fights, and one of them will win the entire series.
Zika, you have been the juggernaut of this game all game long, but you cannot stand up to the full might of LNG. This Jax is not that powerful. He gets rid of Missing, but that's all he'll get. Comeback of the Demacia Cup. LNG sweep Weibo.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.